The reason why you're single is because of this man, Todd V Dating. I just want to show you the amount of game this man spits.
Welcome to the opening series. The goal of this series is to give you the most comprehensive, in-depth, but also practical and actionable look at opening that's humanly possible. And the way that we're going to do that is this. I'm going to show you a specific type of open with every single video. I'm going to go over what that open is. We're going to give you in-field examples of that open. I'm going to give you the principles, the pros and cons, all the details and information I have about the open. And then we're going to talk about one specific general opening sort of idea or one principle that's very important with that particular style of open. Styles I recommend very, very highly for someone beginning in game. And the reason for that is when people are starting out in game, one of the biggest mistakes you're going to see is lack of intent, not showing the girl that they're interested in her. Right? A lot of guys have what we call the half-hour conversation, where there's chit chat, they leave, and if it's like maybe a student of mine, I ask, does she know you have a penis? And the student's like, well, maybe.
I usually ask if we can hit it raw first as my conversation opener.
We'll have very obvious interactions where it's very clear they're into the girl, it's very clear that the girl can have them, and so there's not a lot of sexual tension. So it's important at a high level, if you're going to use this opener beyond like a beginner level, that even if you open fairly direct, even if you open with a compliment, that there be some sort of push-pulls, that there be some sort of like teases or pushing her away or showing that there's a chance she can't have you later on so that you actually do establish some sexual tension, right? The major mistake that a lot of guys make with this is they go in and like compliment the girl and they just keep complimenting her and complimenting her and complimenting her. The girl's on this massive pedestal, she feels great, but she has no reason to sleep with you because she's already been fully validated.
So if you want to get jiggy with it with your girl tonight, make sure she feels crappy about herself.
Now, exclamation point is maybe a little too much. It's a little too much. For example, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Right? That kind of an open, that's like if there was exclamation points at the end of your open, and that's just scary.
Okay, granted, it's scary to yell, but it's also scary if you think you have consent based on me closing my eyes and you being in the vicinity.
I think it's pretty obvious that when it comes to game, kissing is important. I'd even go so far as to say it's one of the few critical moments in interaction. If you can't kiss a girl, you're probably not going to sleep with her, you're probably not going to get into a relationship with her. At the same time, it's one of the areas where guys struggle more than any other. In fact, me personally, I went on dates consistently for 6 months when I was starting out before I was able to kiss a girl at all, and it was incredibly frustrating. I don't want you to deal with that, so I'm going to teach you right now how to reliably, repeatedly kiss a girl in any context where it's appropriate. Yes. And as I started out in game learning to kiss, I learned these things. I learned that I wanted to wait for the part in the date where I'd built some tension and then go ahead and kiss. I wanted to wait until we were settled. I don't want to like try and kiss a girl that's walking if I can sit down and have a more static environment to kiss. And I'll tell you a quick story about what took me from that level of hoping that the opportunity for the kiss would arise to actually creating the opportunity for the kiss. I was on a date with this girl. It was actually my second date with her, and I had a rule, like a stone cold rule at that point in my game, that I always went for the kiss on the first date. But with this particular girl, it was just impossible. She was very happy, very fun to talk to, very engaged in the conversation, but she just was a little too happy and comfortable, and she was just all over the place. She was just she'd look this way, look that way. We'd sit down for a little bit and she'd like want to walk again. It was just impossible to find a moment to kiss her.
You know how you get onto a heavy topic with a person and they just kind of like change subjects? This is the physical embodiment of that feeling. Just constantly trying to move around, do stuff, get him engaged to do other stuff. I mean, that's what that is. It's a physical changing topics, which he obviously cannot see. He just knows he wants something and he's going to go for it, whether she likes it or not.
So I went through the whole first date and I didn't find that moment. Went on a second date with her, pissed off that I hadn't kissed her on the first date. Throughout the entire second date, I couldn't find a moment. She drove home at the end of the second date, and I was so frustrated. At this time, I was living with some of the top guys in the game, and I expressed my frustration to them, and one person who had been particularly a mentor to me, he said, call her back, we're gonna kiss her. And so I'm like, okay. So I called her, I had her.
If you can't find any, like, occasion to kiss her on the second date, she doesn't want to be kissed, she just wants to have fun with you. It sounds like she doesn't want anything to do with you after this, and this was a nightmare, because it feels like a nightmare. This is third-hand embarrassment. I would probably never speak to this dude again.
Turn around, drive her car back, come get back in the driveway, and the advice he gave me was this. Here's what you're going to say. You're going to say, we talked a lot. we talked too much. Come here. And then kiss her. And so she came back, she was in the driveway, rolled down the window, and I did exactly that. And lo and behold, I kissed her, she kissed back, it was good, etc. And then she drove off and she never called me back.
Boom, there it is. Exactly what I said. But the whole kissing back thing, I don't even know. That's kind of, yeah, that's weird. Like the entire time not wanting to kiss and then kissing back at the end. I'm sorry, dude, but that's gotta be a lie. She kissed back. It sounded like the entire 2 dates she did not want anything to do with you. Somehow she came back, you kissed her, and she never spoke to you again. That sounds more plausible. Alright, so I'm pretty much done here. I can't keep recording about this dude. Oh, man. But, okay, but this dude's channel has, like, 217,000 subscribers. So I'm really hoping that maybe he had a gaming channel really early on into his YouTube channel. But going through it, it looks like it's centered around dating. And obviously, by the name, it is a channel that is dedicated to dating advice. But this is just creating more creeps and more stories later on that you're going to see in the news about just non-consent, and just a lot of people are going to get charges if they start agreeing with him and acting out on his advice. So I really hope that if you're in this position where you're looking at advice on dating, just have consent, at least there. That's just the baseline. But yeah, I just wanted to show this channel because it's really sad. But I'll see you. Bye.